shall be brought, inshallah, in the oral tradition referring to Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub resembles an epic in which the history, culture, and mode of expressions of society join together. The veracity of these oral sources is reinforced and supported by written documents. That is, the oral transmission is authenticated by the Sanad. And the Sanad itself has its origins in a period close to that in which Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub lived. This form of transmission is typical of most hagiographic traditions. The written documents referring to Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub are a collection of stories or quatrains that were part of an oral tradition until the middle of the 17th century. It was at this point that the biography and works were copied down in manuscript form. What emerges from these manuscript sources is a tradition in which both oral and written forms provide us with a vivid image of the workings of the Sufi brotherhood in 16th century Morocco. All these elements and modalities of oral and written transmission allow us to contextualize Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub's life and literary production, even as maintain a certain critical distance regarding manner in which these were reported. The Majdoub were a historical and social phenomenon in the 16th century. Historians generally agree that Majdoub eliminated ecstatics and conventionally unlearned, so she shall give us a complete definition about Majdoub. So played an outsized role in the history of Morocco during the early modern period, concretely in the 16th century. This is especially true given their role in the response of Portuguese invasion along the Atlantic coast, as well as increasing Ottoman control in the Mediterranean and what is today is called Algeria. With the decline of the central power once held by the Ouattassid dynasty in Morocco, the header of the Zawiya of religious brotherhoods appeared as the last defenders of Islam, and they played a leading role in resisting to the Portuguese. Chiefly through calls of jihad against the Christian invaders, which brought in many volunteers, soldiers, and sprout fundraising. It's at this time that the Saadi dynasty emerges out of the Daraa Valley in the South Morocco. And it's largely due to their collaboration with the Zawiya in Arabic cemetery, that they are able to move north, repel the Portuguese, and consolidate their power. When speaking about the Majdoub, it's very important to distinguish him from Jedba. In brief, the Majdoub are people, and Jedba is the state of ecstatic trance that they achieve. To be more precise, the word Jedba is the synonym of the furious oasis that serves as the culmination of a ceremony with preliminary and ritualized and codified steps. The Jedba is an important aspect of popular culture in Morocco and is very much integrated into society. Perhaps its most well-known manifestation occurs during the celebration of the Prophet's birthday, Al-Mawlid Al-Nabawi. This is celebrated in all Morocco cities. However, in Meknes, it has special importance insofar as his city houses the Zawiya of Sheikh Al-Kamil, that means the complete or perfect Sheikh Al-Hadi bin Isa Al-Salih. Every year, Every year on the Prophet's birthday, Meknes turns into a wide theater with a large number of mystics groups gathered to perform and pray according to their tariqa. ولاد الصغرون, Sidi Abderrahmane bin Mshish, Sidi Ali, and etc. are other places with the Prophet's birthday is rigorously observed and celebrated. Such celebrations serves as a point of meeting and exchange among Sufi brotherhoods like Isawa, Matcha, and I invite you to discover a little video about the Isawa. Here we have a sample about the So the Moroccan Sufism, it's not only reserved to men. The Sufi women play also a very important role in the mystic. Here is a sample of two sisterhoods, the Isawa of Meknes. Because the women doesn't want that their faces to be recognized. And finally, here is another sisterhood of Al-Hadra Al-Shifshawiyya from Shifshawi. I love this group too. It's other style of mystic. are all this incantation is about Prophet Muhammad and God and his Asma al-Husna. Other mystic celebration called the Mawsim take place in the Moroccan countryside. The religious feast represents a break after the harvest season and all the hard work done in the fields. It is also the occasion in which the residents of Zawiya gather to exchange their last mode of accession to the mystic trances and attend collective ceremonies and socialize the rite. The Jadba involves the companionship, يعني الصحبة بالعربية. That companionship is a total submission of the master of the disciple to her master, so that the former might learn the صلب الإرادة, the institution of free will, as well as the mystic collective and personal life. This learning is accomplished through ceremony, rites, liturgical science, and the hadra in which God is supposed to manifest his presence through a state of ecstasy. This ecstasy attracts participants, and so this attraction is the meaning of the verb jadaba yajdibu. This service has its code, which differs from one master to another and from one brotherhood to another. It also revolves around a text composed by the master of the Zawiya or by the founder of the brotherhood. This hadra involves certain materials elements, sonorous ones, such as musical instruments and percussion, like this night with Sheikh al-Shadili, visual ones, like colors, and olfactory ones, such as perfumes and incense. There are also techniques of physical and psychological conditioning and incantation that include the name of God and various distinguished saints. Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub, a person gains the statue of the Majdoub when he or she is blessed physically and psychologically with a great spiritual sensitivity. This means that he or she is prone to trances and exalted status. It concerns a certain transcendental grace that can also affect people with no Sufi affiliation, like Sidi Shadli explained to us. The Majadib or Bahali, plural of Majdoub or Bahlul, are integrated and maintained by Moroccan society. They work in the cities acclaiming and predicting future events and performing miracles. The phenomenon of Al-Jadba is considered a divine gift of the result of experience, but it is not a skill that one can acquire through learning and reading books. We said, أهل الكتب حاروا فيها. That means the people of books, sages, waises, remain perplexed. The word Majdoub means a person characterized by ecstatic trances, يعني الأحوال. It can also mean someone who is attracted by God. Beyond his statues of Majdoub, Sidi Abderrahmane was also Malamati, which means a person characterized by a nonconformist behavior and agitator who provokes animosity and bad treatment from both the insignificant and the powerful. Sheikh Abderrahmane Al Majdoub هو الشيخ أبو زيد سيدي عبد الرحمن المجدوب بن عياد بن يعقوب بن سلامة الصنهاجي الدكاني, was born in 1504 in Titnite, small village from Azemmour. In this region, near of the port city of Al-Jadida, called Mogador in those days. During that period, the Portuguese occupied Safi and Agadir, as well as other cities in the Mediterranean coast of Morocco. And this conditioned Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub's early experience. He began his Quranic education as a child in Titnite, and it was here that he had his first ecstatic conversions. According to both oral and written sources, Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub's education as a Sufi took place in the region of Meknes in the north. All these written traditions attest that Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub was obsessed with collecting the spiritual legacy of a great number of masters. According to these sources, the most important masters of Al Majdoub who trained him were Si'ali al-Shulli, who watered the hill. So, in Sufi lexicon is al-Wird, and it's a reminder of all us the poetry of Al-Hallaj. يا نسيم الروض خبر للرشا لا يزيدني الورد إلا عطشا لي حبيب حبه حشو الحشا إن يشاء يمشي على خدي مشى قوله قولي وقولي قوله إن يشاء شئت وإن شئت يسع روحه روحي وروحي روحه إن عاش عشت وإن عشت عاش. With these verses, Al-Hallaj, who is Sufi in Baghdad, who is crucified in the 10th century because he claimed there is only Allah under the tunic, but he was renowned, the poor Sufi, because he achieved the ecstasies, and when he found Allah, he go to the souk and climbed. There is nobody in the Jubba without Allah. That means I am Allah. With these verses, Al-Hallaj wants to convey to us the message of submission, total submission, and another message about al-wird. The most the Sufi is water. That is, the more the drinks from the fountain of the Sufi teaching, the thirstier he becomes. Another master of Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub, a significant one, is Sidi Al-Mustarashi, who helped him to recover his senses. Abu Ruwayn, one of the most important two, who tested the degree of Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub destitution. Guess what he wanted him to do? He wanted him to pick up his horse trappings. And of course, Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub do it. Umar al-Khattab was really the Umda, and who was his support and true educator, al-Murabbi, on the path of Sufism. He was also the one who awarded Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub the title of quintessential Majdoub. Written sources report that upon giving this disciple the title of Al Majdoub, he exclaimed, "There is no Majdoub without Al Majdoub." Here we have another sentence who reminds us the sentence of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he acclaimed there is about his cousin Ali ibn Abu Talib. There is no valiant boy without Ali, and not valiant sword without Dul-Fiqar. Dul-Fiqar is the name of sword of the Prophet, and the tradition called that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam offered to Ali ibn Abi Talib his sword, Dul-Fiqar. Al-Khattab ordered Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub to go to Al-Qasr al-Kabir in the north of Morocco to undergo the famous 40 proof before establishing his one Zawiya. In fact, he went to Al-Qasr al-Kabir and began to lead a small local Zawiya called Zawiyat al-Busiri. In Zawiyat al-Busiri, everyone could have food and lodging. It was an open house of all those in need. In addition to its elementary function of al-it'am, the Zawiya frequently served as a refuge for people in trouble with those political power. In a short time, the Zawiya became one of Morocco's most important Sufi sites. Companions were from more influenced family from Al-Qasr al-Kabir. According to Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub biographers, his companions were from affluent families from Al-Qasr al-Kabir, such as Al-Fasi and Al-Qantari. And they all became doctors of Islamic law. And from the spiritual point of view, they all belonged to the enormous mystic tree in which Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub represents the truth. During his moments of exaltation and trances, Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub was reportedly given a certain eloquence and poetic skill from God, as he put in it, Catherine 1.
شافوني كحل معلف حسبوا ما فيه خيرة وأنا ككتاب المعلف فيه منافعة كثيرة. They saw me dirty and bundled in rags. They thought I had no treasures, but I am a crafted book with remedies abounding within.
Recognizing his quatrains as a gift from God, he said, Stephen, quatrain 2.
كسبت في الدهر معزة وجبت كلام رباعي ماذا من أعطاه ربي ويكون أعطاني دراعي. I earned in my time but a goat and deliver a message in verse. How many take what God gives and say it is by their own hands?
His quatrains become a reference and proverbs are rich sources in inspiration that popular bards have claimed and commented over more than 4 centuries, and even anodized in not only in Al-Maghrib al-Arabi, but still in Egypt. They persist even now in living memory of nearly every Moroccan. His quatrains created issues such as the futility of life. William, quatrain 3 and 26.
لا تخمم لا تدبر لا ترفض الهم ذيما الفلك ما هو مسمر ولا الدنيا مقيمة. Worry not, contrive not, bear not your troubles on your shoulders. The planet is not nailed down, nor the world eternal. الأرض في الدين ربي والخلق مجموع فيها. عزرايل حصاد فريد مطامرو كل جهة. The earth is the Lord's field, and the people planted therein, with death the lone reaper, surrounding himself with his harvests. Death here refers to Azrael, the angel of death, and the agricultural metaphor in the poem refers to the practice of keeping grain from the harvest in holes buried around the field.
Patience is a quality that every Sufi must possess, and Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub speaks of it in various countries, such as the following: quatrain 4 and 74 quatrain.
يا صاحب كن صبار صبار على ما جرالك اركض على شوق عريان حتى يطلع نهارك. O friend, be patient and bear what may befall you. Lie bare on the bed of thrones until your day dawns. قلبي تقطع بالمواس ما جبر النوح من ينهوي للناس اصبر بقياد روحه. My heart is cut by daggers and won't come out for me to cast it off. He who holds others to the fire further burns to the soul.
He also alludes in his verses to loneliness and isolation. Stephen, quatrain 77.
من الثلج أملت مطرح بالخواء غطيت روحي من القمر أملت مصباح وبالجوم بالنست روحي. From the snow I make my mattress, with the air I cover myself. From the moon I make my lamp, and with the stars keep my soul company.
In more than quatrain, Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub refers to the purification of the heart and soul as an obligatory condition of the Sufi's path. Will, please, quatrain 78.
قلبي جاء بين المعلم والزبرة الحداد مشوم لا يشفق عليه يردف له الضربة على الضربة وإلى برد يزيد النار عليه. My heart has come between blacksmith and anvil, and the master is cruel and merciless. Blow upon blow he rains down upon it, and should it cool, he thrusts it back into the fire. This refers to the purification of the heart and soul that every Sufi must perform for himself. And in this metaphor, the Sufi is the blacksmith subjecting his heart to this purification process.
Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub also remembers his youth in verse, speaking of when he left Italy and went to study in Al-Qarawiyyin, the most prestigious university in the Arabic world in those days. Stephen, quatrain 124.
جيت من تيت بالأجلة والشعر زادني شضايا الخبز دخلوا الجص علاش طالب ذا القرايا. From Tit I hurried, weighed down by the evil, the plaster mixed in with the flour. Why, O student, this love of studies? In this quatrain, Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub, he's referencing he left Tit because the politicians there were conspiring with the Portuguese, and so he couldn't take the evil, he couldn't bear that on his soul any longer, so he had to leave and flee from the evil that was present there.
Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub also celebrated feast of the zenith of the science and the arts. Will, quatrain 123.
الطبخ والرمخ في فاس والعلم والدين فيها لعيب يجال في فاس مكمول من كل جهة. The fair and forests of Fez, its science and its faith, not a flaw to be found, all within is perfection.
Many bibliographic texts report that when Sidi Abderrahmane Al Majdoub felt the end of his life was near, he ordered his sons and some of his disciples to accompany him to Meknes when he wanted to be buried. He ordered them to dig grave when his horse stopped. His last will has been respected and his tomb is now in Meknes. As you can see, it's really very humble, without decoration, as his image. Thank you so much for your attention. question, I will be happy to respond with help of our Sheikh Shadli. Yes.
How long have your students been studying Arabic abroad in Morocco?
2 quarters, only 2 quarters. They are amazing and amazingly smart, I can see. They are only 3, but the best, I can see the best of all university. There is questions?
I know I missed the first part of the presentation, but in the whole array of different tribes, which one would you put yourself closest to the master?
Ask me or
No, for the master.
Okay, master. I can respond to you.
So, I want to understand the question. Which tribe I am close to?
You know, which style of Sufism
Sufism.
would you get closer to?
Please, Tariq.
Yes.
Which one is closest?
To me right now, personally, I follow the Naqshbandi Tariqa. The Naqshbandi Tariqa is an easy one. It likes good clothes, good looking. some other Tariqa, they want you to start by shaving your head. They may give you a little basket and you tell you to go and beg for under the bridges, to beg for quarters, spare change, to break your nafs so you don't think you are something. Some tariqas, I can't do that. So my tariqa is chic one. That's why I like it.
Right, thank you. This is not a question per se. I just want to ask if you can give some references to whoever is interested in learning more about what you have just discussed. References. Yeah, the 2 of you, please.
References.
Yeah.
About what?
Yeah, Sufism in general. Where one can obtain text and
You mean bibliography? Yeah, there is many bibliographies, and we'll be happy to, if you let me your address, I will be happy to send you off some bibliography.
The Arabic, which I couldn't understand, was very much more lyric than the English translation, obviously. Is there a specific form for the portrait?
Normally it's 4 verses, and the rhyme in Arabic becomes in the end of the 2nd verse and the 4th verse. And also the rhetoric, Arabic rhetoric, it's a really very rich and very subtle. So, but for the quatrain there are 4 verses. It's a rhyme in the 2 and the 4.
Why do many people, like Sufis, describe Sufism as mystical?
Because you have to have faith in something beyond the reason. Because if you it happens to Mu'tazila, a group of people who said that every belief should be like what our mind think. If we say, if we say 2 plus 2 is 4, that's perfect. And therefore, Allah is also perfect like our mind. It should be like that. So the reason with that everything should be as our mind think is perfection. But Allah show them, no, I can make 2 plus 2 to be 5. All I have to do is add a little bit of greed. Then 2 plus 2 is 5. It's 4 plus tax. Or I can make 2 plus 2 to be 3. All I do is add a little bit of stinginess. Then 2 plus 2 is 3. And so the Sufis, which they are siding with the Ash'ari guy who came to say, no, the Allah is not like what you mind. Because some people at that time they start saying that, oh, glory subhanallah, who does everything good. He does only good. So they box him into goodness. The Ash'ari said, no. Say subhanallah, who can do whatever he likes. So he gives them more freedom. He didn't box him in one place. So mystical is that thinking that goes beyond that 2 plus 2 is 4. Everything has to be like that. It can be something different. So those ones, they said, no, it has to be like we say. Allah should be matching my mind. If I say 2 plus 2 is 4, then Allah should be like that. Because He does everything like that. So they didn't give Allah the room to be whatever He likes. And Allah said, فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ. He likes to do whatever He likes. That's very vast. That becomes mystical.
If I can add, for me, to be mystic, it's not to be known like term in Christianity or it's for me, it's really spirituality, and everyone has to find his mystical way in adoration of Allah, and or to doing the good things and avoiding to the bad. It's really a relation between the creator and the